Welcome back to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. I'm Steve Gamache, and what we have this time is the Misuzu VG-10 Bunka 210mm knife. So the way these knives are set up is it's a 3-layer construction. The center hard core cutting edge steel is VG-10 full stainless steel. Heat treats typically around 60 Rockwell for that core steel. And what they've done is put a soft stainless cladding on either side of that hard core steel. You can easily see the line there, and that differentiates the cladding from the core steel. And it looks like the top, probably, it's a little hard to tell the way it's ground. I think you can see the 3 layers here, so it may not be quite over the top, but it's all stainless anyway, so not a big deal. Let's see, the weight and dimensions should be fairly similar from knife to knife. This particular one is 125 grams or 4.4 ounces. Yes, that is a 210, and so it is light. It's a light, thin blade. The edge length is right about 210 on the money, or 8 1/4 inches. And overall length about 13.7 inches, or 350 millimeters approximately. These are pretty thin blades, and there'll be variances as you go down. This particular one, about middle, I got 2 millimeters, and near the back, I actually a little bit, just slightly less, 1.9. And since this has the Bunka kind of reverse sword tip, you can see that it pretty much maintains that thickness until you hit the grind. Right in here, you can easily see where that grind is. It corresponds to that change in finish on the blade. And it gets pretty thin at the tip. Here's what the choil shot looks like, back part of the blade. So it gets pretty thin at the edge as well. So it's a pretty high performance grind. The height on these is about 49.5 at the back, so it's pretty tall. Handles are just good basic octagonal ambidextrous, what's known as magnolia or hoe wood. And they do have a buffalo horn ferrule on here, so it's a really nice, they're kind of, you see these less but these days, but they put that on here, and they've got a good tight glue up where the tang goes into the handle. These are light handles, and that's kind of good because it's a light knife, so that makes the balance point reasonable instead of bringing it way back. So, you know, pinch grip's pretty common with these. There is the balance point on that. And for me, my pinch grip's actually a little bit behind that, so, which gives you a little bit of mass feel to it, which is good because it's a very light blade. So again, just a little bit of blade forward bias to the balance point, which gives you just a sense that you got a little bit of something in your hand being such a light knife. So I think that's a pretty nice trade-off there. The handle circumference, you can see a little under 3 inches, and I measure those right about there where the wood comes into the front. The out-of-box edge, let's say maybe 5 out of 10. It's, you know, fairly straight out-of-the-box edge, nothing super great, but this will definitely get pretty sharp on you, or for you, if you do your part. It's fairly stiff, being a little taller blade, and the only thing negatively on the fit and finish, they've done a little bit of relief on the choil into the neck. I think there could be a little bit more, especially if you're a lefty like me, for this side. The spine's a little bit, got a little bit of edge to it on the corners, so depending on your level of, you know, what your preference is on that, you may choose to sand that down a little bit. It would take probably 10 minutes with some strips of sandpaper in kind of a shoe shine fashion back and forth across that. Same thing here. You could spiff this up pretty nicely, pretty quickly. Let's see. Let's get our beauty shot here. Usually do that a little earlier. My bad. You can easily see that cladding line. And what's cool is the finish is diagonal on it as far as the sanding marks. So it's going like this. So that's cool. They've got some embossed kanji in here, and you know what? This could be hand chiseled. My bad. I almost thought it was stamped in, but it's possible. It sure looks almost like it's hand chiseled. So I'm gonna go probably hand chiseled or hand engraved. It could be stamped, but it almost looks like individual marks on there. You can see it's a thin blade, so that does kind of, some on the front ones kind of punch through a little bit. For the back part, you can kind of see that, but it's a very nicely done aesthetic here. So this is the left side of the blade, just showed you that, but here's the whole thing. So these are nice performing knives. They got thin tip, thin grind on them. They're very light. all stainless, so it's a pretty cool, it's also an interesting looking blade. It's really pretty sweet. So let's take a look at that cutting edge profile. All right. Are you going to rock with this? Not really. But that tip is really low compared to the center point of the blade. And so, you know, rocking wise, a little bit. You can do some small stuff, but that tip's going to want to dig in pretty quick. So if you look at the overall profile, it's just a real low kind of belly all the way through, which means this should be a pretty, it's not super flat, but it's flat enough. This should be a nice chopper. Glide, push-pull cuts, tip draws, oh yeah, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Rocking, low stuff, that's about it. But this will cover a fair amount of bases on the technique side of things for that edge profile. But it's just a neat package. So it's all stainless, got a really cool, interesting shape. Kind of that back swoop on the heel, the chin back here at the end of the heel. So it's a pretty neat package. So this is the Misuzu VG-10 Bunka 210mm knife.